The new year shines a new light on one of the biggest stories in Texas politics, the race for U.S. Senate.
It's a privilege to serve in this position, and I'll do it as long as the voters will have me.
We're getting a closer look at the top candidates in their own words.
If you want to make a difference in this world, and you want to make a true difference, you are going to face adversity.
From Republicans in the race,
what we need are young freedom fighters, America First fighters, moving forward, not just for now, but for the future of this country.
To Democrats aiming to turn the seat blue.
I'm trying to make my neighbor's life a little easier, but to sustain that difficult work, it has to be rooted in a love of God.
In a race that has national consequences.
I think that people are tired of politics as usual, and they want to experience someone that they feel like is authentic.
5 candidates, 1 seat that could help decide control of the U.S. Senate. Our special coverage starts now. Hello, and thank you for joining us. I'm Dylan McKim.
And I'm Adam Schwager. As we start the new year, we are just weeks away from one of the biggest stories in Texas politics, the March primary.
Early voting starts in February, and the campaign getting the most attention from both Democrats and Republicans is the race for U.S. Senate. It's a crucial race, not only here in Texas, but nationwide, as both parties battle to decide who controls the Senate. And the Texas primary is a key part of that battle.
On the Republican side, incumbent John Cornyn faces the toughest primary challenge of his career. I caught up with the senator to learn more about his message to voters as he campaigns to serve Texas for 6 more years.
I'm healthy, I enjoy my job, and frankly, I think I've become better at it over time.
Incumbent U.S. Senator John Cornyn first ran for statewide office in 1990 when he won a seat on the Texas State Supreme Court. 8 years later, he became the state's Attorney General. Then, in 2002, a U.S. Senator for Texas, a role he's held for almost 24 years. Across his decades in public service, Cornyn has seen a shift in politics.
Democrats have become now the party of Bernie Sanders and AOC and Mondani, and the Republican Party is President Trump's party.
So far, Cornyn's campaign challengers have tried to attack him as a Republican in name only, or rhino, and a relic of a pre-Trump party. Cornyn believes the characterization couldn't be further from the truth.
I voted for his policies 99.3% of the time. I think there's a lot of misimpression that people have, because I have been in the Senate a while, that somehow I'm not supporting President Trump, but the truth is, I have and I continue to support the president and his policies.
His opponents also criticizing his backing of the bipartisan Safer Communities Act, a major piece of gun control legislation passed in the wake of the Uvalde shooting. Cornyn doesn't regret that decision.
No parent should ever have to send their child to school worried whether they're going to be safe, and no child should have to go to school wondering whether they could be safe. And what we tried to respond to was exactly that, without encroaching on the rights of law-abiding gun owners, of which I am one.
At the age of 73, Cornyn will be turning 80 when his next term is up in 2033. He says his desire to keep running is because his experience helps Texans, highlighting his efforts to get the state reimbursed for money spent on border security during the Biden administration.
The One Big Beautiful Bill got $13.5 billion for reimbursement for border security measures. And the way we wrote it means Texas will be the principal beneficiary of that. You don't learn how to do that. You don't develop those relationships overnight or as a new member of the Senate.
If Cornyn wins and serves a full 5th term, he'd be the longest serving senator in Texas history.
I think the experience that I've had there and the relationships that I built and have worked well for the state of Texas that I love and continue doing a job which I enjoy. So I think it's a privilege to serve in this position, and I'll do it as long as the voters will have me.
So far, only a few polls about the U.S. Senate race have been released publicly.
The numbers suggest the Republican primary will be a tight race, and it might not be settled on March 3rd. In October, the University of Houston and Texas Southern University released a poll of 576 likely Republican primary voters. It showed Cornyn in a virtual tie with Attorney General Ken Paxton and Congressman Wesley Hunt trailing, but no candidate polled close to the threshold needed to avoid a runoff.
Paxton was the first to challenge Cornyn. The March primary will also be the first time the three-term Attorney General has run for any public office since his 2023 impeachment and acquittal. Cornyn has made the impeachment an issue in his campaign, but Paxton is also talking about his impeachment as he tries to win votes.
Thank you for your courage.
Warren Kenneth Paxton Jr., who just goes by Ken, first ran for office in 2002, winning a seat to the Texas House. A decade later, he was elected to the Texas Senate, serving 2 years there before becoming the 51st Attorney General of Texas.
I've had the opportunity to sue the President of the United States, Barack Obama, 27 times in 2 years.
Throughout his tenure, Paxton has spoken through legal filings, suing some of the largest entities in the country.
Google, Facebook, Twitter before Elon Musk, General Motors for defrauding us.
His AG tenure also mired with controversy and accusations of corruption.
I went through 15 different legal things while I was in office. Before I went into office, I'd never had a speeding ticket. I'd never been in trouble in my life.
Shortly after starting his third term in early 2023, Paxton became the center of the Texas political landscape. The Republican-led Texas House General Investigating Committee launched an investigation into Paxton and his dealings in the Attorney General's office. After the investigation, they unanimously recommended Paxton should be impeached and filed 20 articles of impeachment.
And I'll never forget sitting in trial for an impeachment that was an alignment of forces from the Biden administration, some very moderate Republicans, including Karl Rove and the Bush team, and realizing that I'm sitting on the sidelines with no money.
The House voted 121 to 23 in favor of impeaching Paxton, with 60 impeachment votes coming from Republicans. The vote made Paxton the first statewide official to get impeached in over 100 years, setting up a trial in the Texas Senate. 2 years later, Paxton uses this experience as an example of his perseverance.
I sat down and I said, look, I don't know how we're going to get through this, but I want you to know one thing. I'm not quitting. The people of Texas elected me 4 months ago. I'm not going to quit. I'm going to make these senators vote.
Texas senators voted to acquit him on all charges. Now, a cornerstone of his campaign has been talking to Turning Point USA students across the state after the assassination of their founder, Charlie Kirk.
Let's not let down the memory of Charlie Kirk. Let's not be fearful of the fight. Let's take on the evil, and let's save America. God bless.
Despite repeated requests to Paxton's team for an interview starting in September, Paxton did not talk to Nexstar directly for this story.
You've heard from the two Republicans leading the polls, but another candidate is shaking up the race.
And yes, I am going up against the swamp. And yes, I am fighting the establishment.
Wesley Hunt shares his strategy and message that could send the Republican race to a runoff. And later, two Democrats, two different campaigns. We speak one-on-one with both Jasmine Crockett and James Tallarico to learn what each believes sets them apart in the race for U.S. Senate.